Hello everybody, Josh12 back here again with another video, and today I give you my Gotham Season Finale review. Yes, it's finally here. It feels like forever, but if Gotham has finally come to its end, its inevitable end, and of course I'm here to give you my personal review of what happened tonight in Gotham Season 1, Episode 22, titled All Happy Families Are Alike. Very strange title for a season finale, but nonetheless, it's Gotham, so what do you expect? Nonetheless, also, if you've not seen tonight's episode, season finale of Gotham, please check it out. I'm pretty sure you can find it on the internet or see it on Hulu or what have you. But nonetheless, check out the season finale of Gotham because this review may contain spoilers. Nonetheless, let's get right down into Gotham. First off, it's the return of Fish Mooney to Gotham. And of course, we get right into the flame war that is Falcone versus Mooney. Now, of course, Gotham has gone very different places in its story arcs, but I think the more interesting story arcs that lead to this season finale have to be the more 5-second story arcs, which has to be the Bruce Wayne finding out his father Thomas Wayne's story arc, where he's trying to find his secret compartment or what have you, or some kind of information that would make him understand more about his father's actions that he later finds out in the series. And of course, Edward Nygma's little psychotic breakdown, if you will. Those were the smallest but the most significant parts of this season finale that really stuck with me. Everything else was kind of inferior in comparison and really did not lead up to a very explosive season finale, in my personal opinion. I feel like what they set up in the last episode, which was the Falcone versus Mooney mob war, was more or less a combination of A, they had no idea what they were doing, and B, they just wanted one reason and one reason only, for the sole purpose of having explosive gunfire and death in this finale. That's kind of the only real reason as to why they did that, and I don't think it was a good decision. I feel like if you're going to start a war, especially with characters as big as Falcone and Mooney are in the Batman universe, at least have a good reason for it. And plus, Fish Mooney, she has a very, I want to say, even more or less, kind of pointless story arc that really comes to an inevitable end. Now, of course, spoilers, Fish Mooney does end up dying in this episode, which was inevitable. I mean, we already know that Fish Mooney wasn't going to, go off to do big things because A, she's a made-up character for the show, and B, she's not a part of the Batman universe, so it makes sense. And of course, on top of that, Jada Pinkett Smith, if I'm not mistaken, actually pointed out in one of her interviews that she was not going to be back for season 2, so that's a humongous indicator that she was not going to survive. And of course, that has to do a lot with Penguin versus Mooney, which was always going to happen. We already knew that the two would inevitably come out at each other to try and kill one another to become the new boss of Gotham, which I thought was interesting. I thought it was a very entertaining moment. I love Robin Lord Taylor's performance. I mean, I'll say it once here, and I'll probably say it again multiple times until they do a season 2, which is, why can't it just be the Penguin show? As much as I really had high hopes and anticipation for Gotham in the beginning, after witnessing everything that went down in this season particularly, they should just retitle it the Penguin Show, because let's be honest, folks. Let's really get down and dirty, and let's be freaking honest. The only reason we all watch the show is because of Robin Lord Taylor's performance as the Penguin. Let's be honest. That's downright the only real reason, and it's a good reason because he's so good as the Penguin. I mean, I wish he saved that performance for a movie or what have you, but nonetheless, it is what it is. Of course, they have their little thing. Gordon has his whole thing trying to save Falcone because he believes that, for some reason, if there is going to be a mob boss in Gotham, it might as well be Falcone, because I guess he has his own personal, family issues with him. Nonetheless, he feels like he's the most precisely appropriate person for the job, and Mooney's too much of a douchebag, and Penguin's too crazy. So I guess that's kind of his little scenario. And of course, we have another subplot upon all these subplots, which is, of course, a little Thompkins versus Barbara sequence, which I thought was really boring. I actually, to be honest with you, I know it's kind of pointless for me reviewing it because, number one, I actually didn't even watch most of the Thompkins and Barbara conversations that they had together, because at this point in time, I have no idea what the Gotham writers were planning with the character of Barbara Keene. I mean, one, she did not go anywhere. Two, she did not leave us with any kind of real on-screen presence, and finally, she was just not that entertaining of a character, especially for a character who's supposed to be the inspiration for Batgirl, and of course B, Gordon's first wife, if you will. So I don't know, I just found it kind of inappropriate and stupid and boring as hell. So I didn't really watch all of the Barbara and Thompkins things, which actually is really unfortunate because I love the actress who plays Dr. Thompkins. I think she was an amazing addition to the show, and I think she gave us more of what a female lead should fucking be, unlike the actress who played Barbara. Not that I'm trying to bash her, because, maybe it was the writers not knowing what to do with her, and that's why she turned out the way she was, but yeah, she was just, over the course of this season, she was hands down the most boring, unentertaining thing of this show, and they should have just killed her off. It would have been more appropriate to kill her off than to just continue to drag her on like some stupid whore. It was just stupid. But unfortunately, Thompkins had to fucking go down with her, which was very unfortunate. But of course, on top of all this, there are some loose ends, and of course, there is some killings in this show. Of course, Fish Mooney does die, as I mentioned before, and also Sal Maroni ends up dying. Spoilers, Fish Mooney actually kills Sal Maroni, which I thought was really stupid. One, it makes sense. Sal Maroni in this show was kind of a douche, and all he cared about was being number one, which I guess he kind of did for like 5 minutes. But at the end of the day, I think what the Gotham writers kind of did with killing off Sal Maroni was just putting their foot in the water. That's kind of like what they ended up doing, because at the end of the day, as I stated before, Sal Maroni may have not been my favorite character on Gotham, which is unfortunate because I love the actor who portrayed Sal Maroni, but at the same time, for all of the Batman fans out there, or the people who don't know this, the origin story of Two-Face, Sal Maroni has a lot to do with that, because it's Sal Maroni who actually caused the accident that made Harvey Dent become Two-Face. And that's what they've always kind of did in all the mediums with Batman that contains Two-Face in the story. So I feel like for a freaking DC TV show that's dedicated to the origin stories of villains, that you kind of took away one of your big villain origin stories, which is of course the Two-Face one. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. I mean, there's all types of possibilities. Of course, maybe Sal Maroni had a son, Sal Maroni Jr. or whatever the fuck, and maybe he grows up and becomes a new boss in the future, and maybe he becomes the guy who kills off kills half of Harvey Dent's face off. I don't know. But I just felt like Fish Mooney killing off Sal Maroni was just stupid and did not make any sense, and just gave Gotham it just took the writers a left turn and not in the right direction. That's kind of what I kind of felt with it. And on top of that, another thing I really wasn't really big on over the course of this season finale was Selina Kyle's presence on screen. I loved what the Gotham writers kind of did with her arc in this season, especially her sequences with Bruce. I wish the show could have just been, if they were going to do baby Batman, at least let it be baby Batman and baby Catwoman together and just doing their own adventures together. At least that would have been something a little bit more entertaining, because the story arc that she has in this season, I loved. I liked it. I liked Selina Kyle, but in this particular finale, I did not like it at all. She was so annoying, and every time she was on screen, I wanted to just get her, just throw her across the room and be like, why the hell are you even here? Why are you doing this? I mean, for one, I get it, Selina Kyle in this specific universe, in this specific day and age of this show, she's not particularly the Selina Kyle that we know and love of the future. She's not really that super sexy, cat burglar / relationship twist with, the Batman, and she's not that amazing Catwoman person yet. But the fact that they had her be so, I want to say kid-friendly, if you will, and really, in-your-face, street savvy, and on top of that, really, really, I want to say, she was just too friendly. Let's just put it at that. I mean, first off, Catwoman and Poison Ivy, I don't care whether it be them as kids or them as adults, they would never hang out together and they would never fucking do things together unless they had like backstabbing kind of plans for each other. That's kind of the extent of their relationship. And her being a part of Fish Mooney's crew when Fish Mooney tries to take her reign against Falcone and Sal Maroni's war against each other, I felt was like very stupid. Why would Selina Kyle ever be teaming up with Fish Mooney? I mean, granted, to a certain extent, I guess Fish Mooney kind of maybe could have been a very strong, very unfortunate, strong, I guess, role model for a character like Selina, but I don't think it really paid off as much as maybe the writers really wanted it to be. But I don't know. I just felt like Selina Kyle shouldn't have been in this episode, and at the end of the day, they kind of just misused her to a certain extent, which they kind of did a lot in this season. I mean, like, there's so many Gotham, Selina Kyle, just Easter eggs just for the sake of, like, oh, well, let's just have Catwoman here just because we have her. You know, it's like, come on. It's boring and stupid and unnecessary. But nonetheless, the season finale ends with a bang. At the end of the day, spoilers, Penguin does kill Fish Mooney. Fish Mooney kills Sal Maroni. Falcone leaves to, I guess, not be the boss of Gotham anymore. Penguin becomes the new boss of Gotham. Gordon, I guess, has come to a crossroads because, you know, Barbara's crazy and Thompkins, you know, is over here beating the shit out of Barbara. We don't know where the hell that's going to go. And, of course, at the end of the day, one of my favorite storylines of the season finale, which I wish could have been the entire fucking episode, which was Edward Nygma, the Riddler, just call it the Riddler. The Riddler goes crazy. We get a full extent of what's going on in his mind, which we didn't really get over the course of the season, which I think paid off well in this episode. I mean, over the course of the season, they've used Riddler very, very minimally, and I think it paid off for them, because they finally had a character who was, like, in your face, and, like, we finally got inside his mind, and it was so awesome to see that. Like, to see that he has, like, this really awkward, but, like, Norman Bates kind of syndrome where he's just talking to himself and he has like this multiple personalities and he can't stop, you know, making riddles and what have you. It's really crazy and awesome. And on top of that, we have little Bruce Wayne finding a possible Batcave or a possible future Batcave. Yes, apparently he finds his father's secret compartment in his little den and finds out that it leads to a possible future Batcave. And I say that mostly due to the fact that when little Bruce and Alfred do their little investigation as to what leads down there, the camera kind of pans down to the end of the overall trail of this secret compartment, and basically you can't see anything. There's not really a definitive cave, which I guess they won't really show off until maybe season 2 if they end up doing it, which of course it's obviously a very dark, blackish cave, and you can hear bat wings flap. You don't see any bats, but you see a lot of you can hear a lot of bat wing flaps, which I say that was really awesome. We get to see our first ever glimpse at the future Batcave. That's pretty badass. But nonetheless, that's the entire episode, the entire season finale. A lot of it I did not like. Kind of like Gotham itself, it's like a 50-50 thing. Like, there are things I like about Gotham, but there are things that I really don't like about Gotham. Basically, all I can really say is that Daredevil is basically what I wanted Gotham to be. Like, Marvel's Daredevil is essentially a badass Batman origin story that I really wanted. I mean, granted, that's what Batman Begins was, which, to another reason, I say, you know, it's why do we need more Batman origin stories? We get it. We understand it. Everyone knows it. Everyone. Old people, young people, kids, little kids, everybody knows the origin stories of what happens to these characters. That's why I feel like, why couldn't they just done a Batman show? You know, they should have just done a Batman show. That would have been more appropriate. But what are you going to do? At the end of the day, Gotham, it is what it is. They are doing a Season 2, which I am interested in, as much as I may have bashed it over the course of my reviews, especially my season finale, which I think has to be my most, I guess, review of the show that I've bashed the most. I mean, in comparison to other reviews of the show, review of episodes I've done in the past. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, this season was entertaining. It showed us a lot of interesting visuals and a lot of really interesting origin stories to certain characters that I did enjoy. But at the end of the day, Gotham was something that I don't really think necessarily had to exist, in my personal opinion. But at the end of the day, the season finale, I'm going to give it a good 5.5. It was a good, decent finale, but it wasn't amazing, and there were a lot of things I really did not like. I didn't like the death of certain characters. I didn't really care for the flame war between Falcone and Maroni. I wasn't really big on, Fish Mooney returning, and I was really uninterested with the Barbara Keene sequences. And I have zero idea what the heck they have planned for her. But nonetheless, that's been pretty much my review. Let me know what you personally thought about the season finale in the comments section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know what you personally thought about it overall. What did you think about Sal Maroni being killed off? What did you think about Fish Mooney being killed off? What do you think the future is for Gordon and his relationship status with Thompkins or Barbara? What do you think the future holds for Penguin and Riddler? And what are your personal thoughts on Bruce Wayne discovering his future Batcave, which I thought was the more interesting point in the entire episode, and it only lasted for like 5 seconds. But nonetheless, let me know what you personally thought about it in the comment section below. And of course, before I end this video, I will be making a extra video next week. I will be doing a Gotham season finale kind of video where I'm going to basically talk about, it's going to be an extra, a Gotham extra, if you will. I'm going to do the same thing for Flash and Arrow when their season finales come out, which I think will be coming out in the following weeks, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll be doing one for Flash and Arrow, and basically what that means is that I'm going to be sitting down giving you everything I loved about the season, everything I hated about the season, things I think they should improve on, and things that I think they should basically scrap aside, and of course my personal speculation for Season 2 of Gotham. And I'll do the same for Flash and Arrow in their own respected circumstances when they end up going off air. But overall, this has been Gotham Season 1 finale. Hope you guys enjoyed my review on it. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been John 12.